Okay, so we are going to be doing some work with radiating positive energy as a theme. Just tapping into the inner light that we have inside of us. I heard one time an analogy that I really like is that we're all like a little bowl, and that bowl is full of radiant white light. But as we go through life, people put stones inside the bowl. Things happen to us. We start to lose confidence in ourselves. And each one of these little events, things somebody says to you, bad things that happen, is like a stone in this bowl, to where eventually it starts to dim our light a little bit. It doesn't mean the light has gone away, but it might be harder for other people to see. So yoga and mindfulness is a way to like help us let some of that light peek on through. Some of these stones are going to be really hard to get rid of and may never go away. But others, some of the day-to-day little stuff, we can get rid of some of that. So speaking of stones, we're going to do a little bit of an activity called Stone and Squish, which I thought was just a really cute name for it. So what we're going to do is you can either be seated in a comfortable seat, like a cross-legged position, or you can be standing like I am. We're first going to make our bodies like stone, like someone turned you into stone, everything rigid, every muscle frozen. And then when I say squish, you're going to release everything, all the tension in your face, in your jaw, in your back, in your shoulders, in your booty, just keeping the muscles engaged and are like holding you upright, but everything else nice and relaxed. So let's do that together. We're going to go ahead and do stone. So you're nice and tight, every muscle engaged, turning yourself into stone, rigid. Let's breathe here for a second. Breathe in and out. One more time in. And when we breathe out this time, we're going to turn to squish, breathing out nice and slow. Maybe from top to bottom as you exhale, it starts to release. And you become squish. Like if somebody came over and poked you, you would just fall over because you're so squishy. Let's do that again. Breathing in, turning to stone. Breathing out, slowly turning to squish. Breathing in, turning to stone. Rigid. Breathing out, turning to squish. One more time together, breathing in, turning to stone. Deepest breath you've taken all day, deepest breath, send it all the way down. Hold it in that stone pose, like you're a statue. And slowly, like somebody poked a hole in a balloon, just slowly release, slowly turning to squish. Excellent. Just sit here for a second and notice if there are any places where you're still holding a little bit of tension, where you're still kind of gritting a little bit. If it's in your jaw, if it's in your face, if you're furrowing your eyebrows, just let everything go loose. Just the mere mention of releasing tension made me yawn. Because we're in this hyper aroused mode all the time. And as soon as we start to bring some stillness, our body's like, oh, I don't know how to be still and awake. So I'm just going to go to sleep then, I guess. And we're trying to teach our mind and our body that you can be still and calm and awake at the same time. Awesome. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of movement, get our bodies going. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit so you can see me better. First thing we're going to do is tree pose. So we're going to do poses that bring us open and encourage our bodies to kind of shine out that positive energy. So first thing we're going to do is tree pose. Remember, your first stage is, I'll back up so you can see my feet, heel up against your ankle. That's level 1. Level 2 is foot against calf muscle. Level 3 is foot against thigh. Do not put it against your knee. That is not safe. Perfect. For tree pose, your hands can be here at heart center, or you can have them out like some branches. Let's hold this for just a second. Now we're gonna be doing some balancing on this leg. So pick a level where you're not exhausting your muscles just yet. We're going to move into some other ones. Do a little bit of a, I don't know, a challenge today. So let's just sit here keeping your breath going. Ooh, see, I had to step out. That's okay. You have to step out, no worries. Come right back into it. Find a point across the room that you can look at. That will be helpful. Just stare at that point. That will help you keep your balance. Perfect. Now bring that foot out without putting it on the ground. If you can, grab the top of your foot and keep your arm out for balance. This, I'll turn so you can see me, so I'm going to come down for a second. This is modified dancer. Whoop. It's a quad stretch, basically. And my balance is not great today. You will notice that as you practice yoga, some days you're like, wow, I am the best at balancing. And other days, for me today, you're not so good at balancing. I've practiced yoga for years and I'm having one of those days. That's okay. Modified dancer. Beautiful. Next thing you're gonna do is gonna let that foot go without touching the ground. Bring it up. You can even hug it towards your chest. Holding it here, level 1, flamingo pose. You're on one leg. Anybody feeling it in this leg? Because I sure am. You can even bring it out to the side. That makes sense to you. The ultimate level is to extend it, but even I have a hard time with that one. So I'm just gonna stay right here. Whoop. See, I just got myself off balance. All right, lower that foot slowly to the ground. Holy moly, that was intense. Man, this foot is like awake now. Perfect. So always we do the same thing on both sides. So let's pick a level for our opposite leg. Remember, one foot or one leg might have better balance, or one side might have better balance than another. It's okay to have different levels for different sides of your body. It's also okay to stand near a wall to use for balance as well. Hands at heart center or palms extended. We're gonna hang out here for a second. Again, find that point across the room that you can look at. Ooh. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You feeling it yet? This side seems to have better balance for me. Woo! I said that and then I jinxed myself. Awesome. Go ahead and release that foot. See if you can grab it without touching the ground, the top of that foot back behind you, extending that right arm forward if that helps. Now I'm going to bring mine lower. You don't have to. This is just another variation. Whoop. Notice I'm wearing jeans. You can do yoga in whatever you're wearing. Tricky, tricky. Next, release the foot. Bring that leg up. One level here. This is flamingo. Bring it in if you like. If you want, see, look here, I'm having an issue. If you want, you can bring it out like so. Opening up the hips. You can grab the toe and extend if that serves you. It does not serve me today, so I'm going to stay right here. Breathe into that standing leg. Your muscles are talking to you. Let's give them some oxygen. Slowly lowering the foot down. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna come back forward this way. Next thing we're gonna do some neck stretches. It's whenever you're watching this, I'm not sure what day it is, but for today, when we're filming, it's Friday, and that can be a good day and an exhausting day because you're at the end of a week worth of school, worth of work, or what have you. So, but no matter what day it is, it's still always good to take a break and give yourself some self-care. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of neck releasing. Again, we can't radiate our positive energy if we're not taking care of ourselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our heads, bringing the chin to the chest. Let's just stay here for a second, chin to chest. It is so important with the neck that you're not making fast or aggressive movements. We want to take care of our necks. Feel that lengthening here. In our culture, the tech neck is starting to become a big problem, especially with young folks, because we're looking at screens all day and straightening out the natural curve in our neck. So we need to do things that help to bring back the curve that's supposed to be there. That doesn't mean you never stretch it this way. It feels very good to stretch it this way as well. But we're going to go ahead and slowly roll and let the head kind of hang back. We're straightening out the front of our neck. Here now there's an extreme curve in my neck. I'll try to show you. See, now there's a major curve going on. This is good. We don't want it to be this extreme, but this kind of helps to coax our bodies back into natural alignment. Just stay here for a second. Beautiful. And now we're going to roll our necks in the same direction, chin to chest. And then when you inhale, nose to the sky. Exhale, slowly roll chin to chest. Do this for a couple more breath cycles. Inhaling as you come up. Exhaling as you roll down slowly. One more of these. Perfect. Leave your head here, chin to chest, opposite direction. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, going down. Let's do 2 more of these. And slowly bring your head back to neutral. Wow, awesome. I don't know about you, but that felt really, really good. I've had some neck stuff in my past where I've thrown it out of whack and I couldn't look behind my shoulder because it was in such pain. And taking care of your neck is super important for preventing that from happening, especially if you're one of these that looks at a screen or looks down all day. We want to try to bring that natural curve back to our necks. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little brief meditation. I'm going to actually move my computer down to the ground because I do want to sit for this one. I do invite you also to sit for this one. So finding a cross-legged comfortable seat. Laying down is difficult unless you're an expert mindful meditation practitioner because it can cause you to go to sleep. So we're going to try to prevent that by sitting just cross-legged, easy seats, okay? So since our theme is radiating positive light, we're going to start to cultivate an awareness of that internal light that we have inside of us. And I don't mean if you were to open up my body, you would see a light there. That's not what we mean. We're talking about things that are more unseen, but I believe every single person, I think we know this, at the core of their being has an essence, has a goodness, has a light. And so we're going to talk about, in this meditation, letting that come out. So to start, you're going to come into your easy seat, bring the shoulders back and down. Just noticing your breathing right now. Noticing where your thoughts are going. And maybe let your thoughts go there. And then bring them back. I invite you to close your eyes if it's available to you. Otherwise, feel free to simply cast your gaze downwards towards the floor. And I want you to visualize in your mind's eye a tiny flame, a small flicker of light residing in your heart space. Think about the wick of a candle being lit. Imagine that around this flame, there's the glowing of illuminating light. The kind of light that fills up a room when it's entirely dark. The kind of light that once the candle is lit, feels safe and inviting, feels almost alive, is a source of warmth, security. Picture that flame inside growing a little bigger, maybe as big as if you were to hold this flame in the palm of your hand. A source of energy, warmth, a space that feels alive, giving, thriving. Notice now how the flame stays the same size, but the light given off by the flame begins to grow. A golden, glowing, glittering illumination. It begins to move outwards from inside your body. Starts to break through the shells and the shadows that cover it. Starts to form cracks through the things that hide the light. Until it cannot help but be revealed. The shells, they may remain, some parts of them. The shade, it may remain, some parts of it, but the light breaks free to where the glow of this light coming from within you starts to radiate outwards, almost like your body is glowing. This is your pure essence of who you are, good and perfect as you are, radiating outwards. Imagine now, as you go through your day, that each person who encounters you is warmed and felt safe and felt alive by this light that you radiate. Imagine that you see each person that you encounter as having their own light. Imagine a world where we acknowledge the light of others and we cultivate it. We encourage it to grow in others. Instead of trying to hide another person's light, instead of trying to dim another person's radiance, we help to let it shine, just as we shine out our own light. Others may not like our light. It may shine too bright for them. They may not have cultivated their light enough, and so our brightness, our brilliance reminds them that they haven't yet done that work. It scares them. It intimidates them. So they try to cover our light so they don't have to see it, but we will not let that happen. We will simply send out radiant goodness to them and to everyone. Because that is who we are. We will cultivate our light, the things that help us to shine out. We will pay attention to those things. We will draw ourselves to the people and to the things that draw out our goodness, our brilliance, our radiance. And we will move away from the things that try to hide or cover or make us hide or cover our own light. Sit in the glow of your radiance. Feel its warmth. Feel its shimmering illumination as it pulsates from your body. When you're ready, you can begin to bring your awareness back into this space, hearing the sound of my voice, opening the eyes if you chose to close them, bringing your gaze back to the screen, breathing in that radiant goodness. There is a saying that people will share in yoga that I want to end our session with today, because I think it's so true based on what we've talked about, and that is, the light in me sees the light in you. Thank you for sharing with me today.